knew Mercy as a good pastor who preached every Sunday. But when the sun went down in Lagos, Mercy lived a completely different life. A life so dangerous that one day a powerful man discovered her secrets. Mercy was 26 years old. She lived alone in a beautiful apartment in Lekki, Lagos. Her apartment was large and modern. The living room had a soft grey sofa, a glass table, and a large television on the wall. The windows were big, and at night, the city lights of Lekki shined through them. To many people, Mercy looked like a successful young woman living a good life. Every morning, she woke up early. The sounds of cars and buses moving on the Lekki road slowly filled the air as the sun rose. One Saturday morning, Mercy sat up on her bed, wearing her soft sleepwear and a hair bonnet. She stretched slowly and looked around her quiet bedroom. "Another day," she whispered softly. She walked to the window and looked outside. People were already starting their day. Some were jogging while others were rushing to church. Mercy went to the bathroom and washed her face. After that, she stood in front of her wardrobe. Inside the wardrobe were two very different types of clothes. On one side were long skirts, long sleeve blouses, church gowns and scarves. On the other side were tight dresses, short skirts and high heels. These clothes represented the two life Mercy lived. During the day, Mercy was Pastor Mercy, but at night she became someone else. She chose a modest outfit. She wore a long navy blue skirt that reached her ankle, a white long sleeve blouse, and a long scarf that covers her chest. She also wore small earrings and low black heels. She tied her hair neatly and picked up her Bible. Soon she was ready. When Mercy arrived at Grace of Life Ministries, the church members greeted her warmly. "Good morning, Pastor Mercy. God bless you, Pastor." Mercy smiled gently at them. Inside the church, the air was peaceful. The choir sang softly as people found their seats. When it was time for the sermon, Mercy stood at the altar. She opened her Bible and looked at the congregation. "God sees your heart," she said calmly. "Even when life is difficult, we must trust Him." The people listened carefully. Some nodded, some smiled. Mercy had a beautiful voice and spoke with kindness. People believed she was a strong woman of faith. But inside her heart, Mercy felt something heavy. She was hiding a secret. After the service ended, a tall man approached her. He was wearing a neat suit and had a friendly smile. "Good afternoon, Pastor Mercy," he said politely. "My name is Pastor Daniel. I have heard many good things about your ministry." Mercy smiled politely. "Thank you," she replied. They spoke for a few minutes about helping people in the community. Mercy felt nervous talking to other pastors, always made her uneasy. She was always afraid someone might discover the truth. Later that evening, Mercy returned home to her apartment in Lekki. She placed her Bible on the table and removed her church scarf. She sat quietly on the sofa for a moment. Then she stood up and walked to her wardrobe again. Slowly, she opened the other side. This time, She picked a tight red bodycon dress. She sat in front of the mirror and began putting on makeup. Her look slowly changed. Her lips became glossy. Her eyes were bold and bright. She removed her scarf and let her long hair fall free. Then she wore her high heels. Now she looked like a completely different woman. The night had come. Mercy stepped outside. The streets of Lagos were alive with music and noise. Cars moved quickly. Bright lights shone from clubs and restaurants. Mercy walked confidently down the street. Soon, she met a man named Bayo. Bayo was a wealthy businessman in his 40s. He wore expensive suits and always smells of strong perfume. Mercy, he said with a smile, you look beautiful tonight. Thank you, she replied softly. They went to a luxury restaurant. Mercy laughed at his joke and listened to his stories. But inside, she felt empty. Later that night, they went to a hotel. When everything was finished, Bayo left money on the table and walked away. Mercy counted the money slowly. One step closer, she whispered. But when she returned to her apartment later that night, the silence felt heavy. She sat on her bed, then suddenly tears filled her eyes. She covered her face and cried quietly. God, forgive me, she whispered. But Mercy knew something. She felt trapped in this life and she did not know how to escape. A few weeks passed. After Mercy met Bayo that night, her life continued the same way. Every morning, she woke up in her large apartment in Lekki and prepared for church. Every night, she changed into another woman and stepped into the busy street of Lagos. To the church members, she was still Pastor Mercy, the young woman who spoke about faith, forgiveness, and hope. But inside her heart, Mercy felt tired. Living two lives was slowly breaking her spirit. One Friday evening, Mercy sat quietly in her apartment. The sun was setting outside her windows, painting the sky orange and purple. Cars moved slowly along the Lekki road below. She looked at her wardrobe. On one side were her church clothes, long skirts, modest gown and scarves. On the other side were her night clothes, tight dresses, short skirts and high heels. Sometimes Mercy wished she could throw away the second side forever, but life was not that simple. She still had bills to pay. She still had dreams she wanted to achieve. That night, Mercy wore a tight black dress and high heels. She applied makeup carefully and styled her long hair. When she looked in the mirror, she saw the woman she became at night. Confident, beautiful, but also lost. She left the apartment and drove towards Victoria Island. The city was alive with music, lights, and people. That night, she had a new client. His name was Mr. Easy. Mercy met him in the lobby of a luxury hotel. Mr. Eze was tall, handsome, and well dressed. He wore a expensive black suit and a gold watch that shone under the lights. When Mercy approached him, he looked at her carefully. You must be Mercy, he said calmly. She smiled politely. Yes. They sat together at a quiet table in the lobby. For a while, they talked about normal things, business, Lagos traffic, and life in the city. But Mercy noticed something strange. Mr. Eze kept studying her face very closely. It made her uncomfortable. Finally, he leaned forward slightly. You are very interesting, he said. Mercy smiled lightly. How? So? Mr. Eze's lips curved into a slow smile. Because not many pastors live a life like yours. Mercy froze. For a moment, she could not breathe. What do you mean? She asked slowly. Mr. Eze chuckled softly. Oh, come on, he said. You think I don't know? Mercy's heart began beating very fast. Mr. Eze leaned back in his chair. You preached every Sunday at Grace of Life Ministries, he said calmly. Pastor Mercy. The sound of her church title from her mouth made her sound the sound of her church title from his mouth made her stomach turn. How did you know that? She whispered. Mr. Eze struggled. I am a man who knows many things. Mercy suddenly felt very small. Mr. Eze continued speaking. You are beautiful, intelligent, and respected, but at night you walk the streets of Lagos. He smiled again. That makes you very interesting. Mercy's hand began shaking under the table. What do you want? She asked quietly. Mr. Eze's expression became serious. I want you to work for me, he said. Mercy frowned. I already work for myself. Mr. Eze shook his head. No, I mean only for me. Mercy felt fear rise inside her. I can't do that, she said firmly. Mr. Eze's eyes became colder. You should think carefully, he replied. Then he leaned closer and whispered something that made Mercy's heart drop. If the people in your church knew what you do at night, what do you think would happen? Mercy felt like the world was collapsing around her. She quickly stood up. I need to go, she said. Mr. Eze did not stop her, but as she walked away, he spoke calmly behind her. You will hear from me again. That night, Mercy returned to her apartment feeling scared. She locked the door and leaned against it. Her hands were shaking. She walked slowly into the living room and sat on the sofa. Her mind was racing. How did Mr. Eze know her secrets? How long had he known? Suddenly, she noticed something on the floor near the door, a small white envelope. Her heart skipped. She picked it up carefully. Inside was a small piece of paper. It said only three words. I know everything. Mercy felt her chest tighten. The next morning, she went to church as usual. She wore her long skirt, white blouse, and short scarf. She smiled at the congregation, but inside, she felt terrified. During her sermon, her voice trembled slightly. Her best friend Chinwe noticed. After the service, Chinwe approached her. Mercy, are you okay? She asked. You don't look like yourself. Mercy forced a small smile. I am fine, but she was lying. That night, Mercy knelt beside her bed and prayed harder than she ever had before. God, please help me, she whispered, because she knew something. Her secret life was now in someone else's hand, and that was very dangerous. Mercy did not sleep that night. She sat near the window in her apartment, staring at the lights of Lekki. Cars moved slowly on the road below. The city looked peaceful, but inside her heart, a storm was growing. Mr. Eze knew her secrets. He could destroy her life anytime he wanted. For the first time, Mercy realized how fragile her double life really was. She had always believed she was in control, but now she understood the truth. She was trapped. The next day, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Mr. Eze. Meet me tonight. Mercy felt her stomach twist. For a moment, she thought about ignoring him, but she knew that would make things worse. That evening, she prepared again. She wore a tight red dress and a high heels, but this time she did not feel confident. She felt like she was walking into danger. She met Mr. Eze in the same hotel lobby. He was already sitting there, calm as always. You came, he said. I did not have a choice, Mercy replied. Mr. Eze smiled slightly. I like honesty. They sat down. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Finally, Mercy asked the question she feared. What do you want from me? Mr. Eze's voice was calm. I already told you, he said. Work for me. Mercy shook her head. No. Mr. Eze raised an eyebrow. Are you sure? Mercy took a deep breath. For the first time, something inside her changed. She realized she was tired of living in fear. I am done with this life, she said firmly. Mr. Eze stared at her. You think you can just walk away? Yes, Mercy replied. Mr. Eze laughed quietly. You are brave, but bravery will not save your reputation. Mercy stood up. Maybe not, she said, but I can't keep living like this. Then she walked away. For the first time, Mercy chose courage instead of fear. The next morning, she packed a suitcase. She called Chinwe. I need to start over, Mercy said. Chinwe was confused but supportive. You can stay with me for a while if you need to, she said. Mercy smiled. Thank you. Over the next few months, Mercy slowly changed her life. She stopped walking the streets at night. Instead, she focused on something she had always loved, fashion. Using the money she had saved, Mercy opened a small clothing shop. At first, business was slow, but Mercy worked hard. She designed dresses, she learned about fabric, she spoke kindly to customers. Slowly, people began noticing her talents. Soon, her shop became popular. She even hired two women to help her. One evening, Mercy stood outside her shop and watched the sunset. She felt something she had not felt in a long time. Peace. Her life was not perfect, but it was honest, and that meant everything. Months later, Mercy visited church again. This time, she did not stand at the altar. She simply sat quietly among the congregation. She listened to the sermon and smiled softly. Her journey had not been easy, but she had finally found freedom. And for the first time in many years, Mercy truly believed her future could be brighter than her past. This story teaches us that no matter how far someone has gone down the wrong path, they can still choose to change and build a better life. Living a double life may look easy at first, but in the end, it brings fear, pain, and no peace. Only courage and honesty can truly set you free. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share with your friends, drop a comment below, and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. Thanks for watching.